Hi everybody, welcome back. Well, we're obviously going to Uranus today, and this is going to be, I think you'll find this to be a pretty interesting video. I know there's been some real surprises here for me. Right here is a picture of Uranus and Neptune, and Uranus is slightly larger than Neptune. Not exactly sure how much, it's a little bit bigger. And these are what they call ice giants. So Jupiter and Saturn are gas giants, and these are ice giants. So just big balls of ice. And I was surprised to see how big Uranus is. I guess I never really knew. I actually thought it was smaller than Earth. But it's actually 4 times larger than Earth, which is to me was really surprising. And in the same website here from NASA, this is a model that you can use to look at Uranus, and it's just like Google Earth kind of thing. And before I went further, I wanted to go into the NASA photojournal and maybe get some pictures, some interesting pictures of Uranus, some just for a little flavor, just to get to know it a little bit more. And really, as it turns out, pretty much for the most part, all the pictures that they were offering at the NASA photojournal are a bunch of cartoons. Okay, now there's a couple of good pictures in there, but mostly it's a bunch of cartoons. And this is Ben Pellom's website called the Pellom Planetary Research. And that green item right there is something that we're going to be looking at today. And it's thanks to Ben that we're here. Ben introduced us to the Worldwide Telescope, starting with the Moon, and now we're looking at Neptune. And this is a picture from NASA that says, they say that this is the actual color of Uranus in the visible light. And this is the Worldwide Telescope picture right here. And this is a little bit darker color. The color's not exactly the same as that previous picture, but it doesn't matter too much because we're going to end up going to the grayscale anyway. But looking at this picture of Uranus, to me it looked like it's like digital imaging. It's like anything that you zoom in on when it's blank, you get this sort of a digital effect. Looks like circuit boards and that kind of thing. And so that's really, what I guess it is. I mean, I don't really know. For the fun of it, me, I had to look a little more closely. And, I saw some interesting things, but really, when I look at this, I see that digital imaging issue. And that could even be true for this picture right here. Kind of a strange look, it does look like buildings and stuff, but if those were buildings, think of how massive they'd have to be, because of the fact that Uranus is 4 times larger than Earth, and we're looking at these buildings. It'd be like a building the size of Colorado. But when you think about it, this could be a level 3 civilization. Who knows? Level 3 civilization can do pretty much whatever they want. So, according to my sources, Michio Kaku. But anyway, so yeah, it just looks like your typical digital, I don't know what you call that, image artifacts. But I did look at Neptune also, and I looked at some of the other planets, but Neptune was the most like Uranus, and I didn't see any of this digital issue at all, which I thought was kind of surprising, and I did everything I could. Now this is that model, a 3D model of Uranus that they have on the website there for the NASA Solar System Exploration website. And this is something that you can use just like Google Earth. But the problem with this one is first of all, it's a model. Why don't they have the real picture, right? And second of all, how come you can't look at the poles? Ben Pellom kind of turned me on to that. I wanted to see the pole, and I happen to know that this is something to look at here in this picture. So we're looking at the South Pole here right now. This is again from the Worldwide Telescope. And this picture right here shows you the difference between the pole and the equatorial side of the planet. So there's a real difference. I kind of thought if it were digital that you'd see the same thing on the top as on the bottom. But as it turns out, the poles on all the planets actually look a little bit different than the rest of it. So I essentially I just use contrast and all of the grayscale stuff, brightness, that kind of thing. And this really gave off a really, really strange looking pole, I gotta say. Very strange. Look at that. Isn't that an interesting look? When you look at it like this, it reminds me of Star Wars, the Death Star, right? All put together in pieces and never did finish putting it together. Now here's a picture of Neptune, and this is the pole of Neptune. All right, so it looks similar. This is in grayscale. This is in black and white here. And then anyway, and here is this is Saturn, and Saturn has that famous six-sided or eight-octagonal center. I remember when that was first discovered, how unusual that was. And this is Jupiter, and also in the grayscale. And so I can't make the poles on these planets look anything like Uranus. Uranus looks completely different than everything else. I mean, completely different. So I decided to take a closer look, and it's something else. It's really, probably figuratively and actually it's something else. Would you take a look at this, folks? Now, this is not a digital imaging issue here at all. It's got all these circles and everything. This is not digital. This is something that's there. Again, this is off of the Worldwide Telescope. And yeah, I don't know. When I look at this, I mean, what in the heck is that? What is that? It looks like it almost looks like a locking mechanism, or some kind of a machine. And the dark circle in the middle, not the darkest, but the second concentric line out, is the size of Earth. All right? So this is really massive, and it looks like a giant machine. That's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's what it is. I don't know what it is. But to me, it looks like a machine or some kind of a locking mechanism or something, anything that would be built on this kind of scale would be a level 3 civilization. Essentially, as far as I can tell, it's anything you can do, whatever you want. I mean, as far as how we look at it, it would be godlike. And right here is the North Pole of Uranus, and it's similar, but different. And it's got this square, black square right in the middle of the pole. I don't know if that's some kind of a digital thing. The South Pole also had that. It wasn't quite as clear as it is in this one. But yeah, this is one. It's hard to know what to say. This is a polar region on a planet. And it doesn't look anything like anything natural. Not to me. It looks like a machine. And in fact, this picture looks like a machine that's damaged. See that? It's got the big, looks like a big hole in it there. You know, my question would be, did that come from the inside or did it come from the outside? Is this thing still functional with this massive hole? And that hole, if would be a planet killer for Earth, right? That would take care of the whole planet Earth. This looks like a giant, massive clockwork or mechanism of some kind. It's just massive. I mean, 4 times larger than Earth. You know, you need to think Star Wars, literally. This is even bigger than Star Wars, though. Much larger than the planet killer. And it also reminds me of a Star Trek episode, one of the original Star Trek episodes where they had this big cone-shaped thing going around the galaxy, gobbling up planets, and almost gobbled up the Enterprise. That's what it looks like. It's a very, very strange picture. It's very unexpected, and I have not been able to duplicate it in any other way, in any other planet. I've tried so many different things to come up with something that looks similar to this. There's nothing I can do. So what is this, folks? What in the hell is this? It looks like a great big huge machine. What could it possibly be? And does it still function? Was it destroyed? Did it blow up from the inside? Did somebody shoot it from the outside? You know? I don't know. I do know one thing, though. It's extremely unique. At least as far as our solar system's concerned, there's nothing out there like this. And I know something else. This is not a giant ice ball. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.